The Atlas Post stimulus update for the week with Trump testing positive for coronavirus and a stimulus bill passing. How is coronavirus affecting you? Do you think President Trump and senators having tested positive for coronavirus will affect when you receive stimulus? Please make your comments and let us know so that others can know too. Today, our stimulus update includes President Trump's motorcade photo op after testing positive for coronavirus, the coronavirus spread, stimulus bill passing, and Senate floor proceedings being postponed, and who in Congress has tested positive for COVID-19. Please take a moment to share, like, comment, and subscribe for the latest updates in stimulus, unemployment, PPP loans, and more. Subscribe for the latest updates, and when you stay to the end, you'll find out who tested positive for COVID-19 and more details like what they did about it. Earlier today, President Trump had a motorcade photo op when he rode past supporters outside of Walter Reed Hospital late this afternoon. It's been just a couple days since early Friday morning when President Trump tweeted that he and First Lady Melania Trump tested positive for COVID-19. It's these 48 to 72 hours since then that are most critical. Thus far, 19 people who attended the White House festivities honoring Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett on September 26 in the Rose Garden have tested positive. Others close to the president who have tested positive for COVID-19 include former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who checked himself into a hospital late yesterday evening. He helped Trump prepare for the first presidential debate earlier this week. Former White House counselor Kellyanne Conway, who helped with debate prep sessions, announced on Friday that she tested positive, which then prompted Trump to release a 4-minute video to reassure the nation. As he says, we have to confront problems. Trump's campaign manager, Bill Stevens, tested positive on Friday also, and Trump's aide, Hope Hicks, was the one that tested positive on Thursday, which set in motion the testing that Trump indeed might be affected. Since then, people, and especially leaders around the world, are watching the United States. President Trump has received an antibiotic cocktail and has been at Walter Reed Hospital. According to the New York Times, Trump's symptoms were described as very concerning, even as doctors offer a rosier picture, and that the president's medical team left the impression that he was known to be sick a day earlier than previously reported, forcing them to backtrack later. Meanwhile, President Trump has urged Congress to pass a stimulus package urging swift action while being treated for COVID-19. As President Trump has tweeted, our great USA wants and needs stimulus. Work together and get it done. Thank you. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin continue to negotiate a new stimulus plan. Thus far, the sticking points in negotiations are unemployment insurance, which previously, according to the CARES Act, was $600 weekly unemployment insurance. And then when President Trump did his lost wages after the CARES Act finished the end of July, it was $300 per week. Currently, the Republicans have, I think it's $400 a week in their bill, and Nancy Pelosi, of course, wants $600 per week. That is for weekly unemployment. Number 2 is funding for schools, states, and local government. Number 3, child tax credits. 4, testing and tracing funds. And number 5, appropriations for Democratic priorities like transit. Before Trump tested positive for coronavirus and increasing cases amongst the White House and Senate, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin suggested that the number being discussed was somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.5 trillion for stimulus. This was only $0.7 trillion away from the other, which was that the House Democrats, which passed their own stimulus bill, the HEROES Act 2.0, coming in at $2.2 trillion. So as you can see, the $1.5 trillion as compared to the HEROES Act 2.0 at $2.2 trillion, they're only $0.7 trillion away from each other, which is the closest probably that they've been. And the original HEROES Act was $3.4 trillion, and this one was passed in May. 3 senators have tested positive for coronavirus in the last day. Republican Senator Ron John of Wisconsin, Senators Mike Lee of Utah, and Tom Tillis of North Carolina. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has postponed Senate floor proceedings until October 19th. As released from his Twitter account, the confirmation hearings for Judge Barrett's nomination will convene on October 12th. According to GovTrack, there are 72 members of Congress who are or who have been quarantined, tested positive for COVID-19, or came in contact with someone with COVID-19. If you review the information, you can see who, when, and what action was taken by the members of Congress. For example, in March, you can see Senator Ron Paul from Kentucky, and the latest, Senator Mike Lee from Utah, Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina. Here are the representatives, which would be Representative Jahana Hayes in Connecticut. And here you see just below the dates, legislators, events, and actions. And the last ones we were just talking about were Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina, Senator Mike Lee, and Senator Ron Johnson. We also do have a couple of other ones, which was Senator Ben Sasse from Nebraska, and Senator James Lankford from Oklahoma, which is exposed to Senator Lee, yes, who tested negative on, and he tested negative on October 3rd, 2020. So there is proxy voting in the House of Representatives because at the peak of the virus's spread in March 2020, before Congress went on recess, 22 representatives and slightly earlier 6 senators were simultaneously self-quarantining. So both the House and Senate have adapted their procedures to keep legislators and support staff safe while also keeping Congress operational. So this is really good news because let's just say we will see how this all unfolds. Anyway, thanks for joining the Atlas Post, and thanks for also supporting our channel on Patreon as well as Buy Me a Coffee. Please share, comment, follow, and subscribe. Oh yes, and also please do give us the thumbs up to like us. And wherever you're joining us from, thank you for joining the Atlas Post. Have a joyful day.